Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna Krishna.
Krishna Krishna.
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Hare Rama.
Rama Rama.
Rama Rama.
Hare Hare.
Hare Hare.
First of all, I would like to express my deepest gratitude, although I don't know if I ever can, to my beloved spiritual masters, Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, for allowing me to return here. And to their lotus feet, C.C. Goyukai, for allowing me to come. I'm always surprised when they let me come back. I think, someday they're going to say, good riddance. So, we're going to talk about a little bit about my trip to India, but not so much. We're going to talk about the hidden secrets of yoga. Wow. Are there hidden secrets in yoga? There are. There really are. So we're going to discuss what those are. And this really isn't so much of what may look like it. It's not so much of a lecture as it is a discussion. I want to hear from you. You see? And so once I read the verse and get going, stop me at any time with a question, okay? So your participation is not only welcome, but demanded. If you don't come up with a question, I'm going to call on you for one, so you better be ready. You better have a question. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So, hidden secrets. Who knew they were there in yoga? A couple of verses of Bhagavad Gita we're going to discuss that talk about these hidden secrets. What you can find there, but you have to know they're hidden. You have to look for them. It doesn't come just because you practice yoga. Are there any yoga practitioners here? Anybody practice yoga? Huh? Anybody? Oh. Any yoga teachers? Huh? All right. Let's all become yoga teachers. Perhaps after you hear what I have to say tonight, you'll want to become a yoga teacher once you find out something really nice that you can teach. First verse that I'm going to touch on is Bhagavad Gita, chapter 6, verse 27. Krishna says, Prasantam manasam hyanam yoginam sukam uttamam upaiti santarabhyasam brahmabhutam akalmasam. Krishna is saying, the yogi whose mind is fixed on me verily attains the highest perfection of transcendental happiness. He is beyond the mode of passion. He realizes his qualitative identity with the Supreme, and thus he is freed from all reactions to past deeds. Wow, did you know yoga could do that? You know, a lot of people say, well, yoga will make me more physically fit. I'll be stretched out more. I'll feel better, and I'll be able to perform better in so many different activities. You see? So yoga, it will do that. But what's the purpose of yoga? What does this word yoga mean to begin with? Does anybody want to?
Connection.
Yeah.
Link up.
To link. Yoke. Hook up. The word yoke came from yoga. You see? To link up. Hook up. Union. Reunite. You see? So, to unite, hook up with the Supreme Lord. That's the purpose of yoga. Along the way, we get really in good shape and we start to feel real good. It helps us move about, you see? But that's not the only purpose. And it's not all we get if we practice yoga. So we go beyond the physical aspect of yoga. Srila Prabhupada says in the purport here, Brahmabhuta is the state of being free from material contamination and situated in the transcendental service of the Lord. Madbhaktim labhate param, Bhagavad Gita 1854. One cannot remain in the quality of Brahman, the Absolute, until one's mind is fixed on the lotus feet of the Lord. Savaimamata Krishna Para I can't even talk now. Paravindayo. To be always engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, or to remain in Krishna consciousness, is to be factually liberated from the mode of passion and all material contamination. Mode of passion. The mode of passion, there are three modes of material nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. And everything we do is in that mode, or a combination of those modes. I may be doing something in the mode of goodness with a little bit of passion. I might be in the mode of passion with some goodness. And in all of that, I might be in the mode of goodness and passion with a hint of ignorance. You see? So, does anyone understand the three modes of material nature? There aren't any more of material nature. There's not anything else. There's goodness, passion, and ignorance. So, but there's a transcendental mode. There is pure goodness, which transcends the material modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Pure goodness means to do something or have a desire to do something to please God. That becomes pure goodness. If I have an extreme desire to please myself, to make more money, to get a better education so I can make more money, to get a better home, or I have a passion to satisfy myself, to give myself something. You see, that's the mode of passion. But if I have an intense desire to build a nice temple for Krishna, see, that's pure goodness. If I have an intense desire to collect a lot of money so that I can build this temple for Krishna, the desire for money is the same, except my intention of what I want it for is entirely different. So that puts me in the mode of pure goodness, you see. Does that make any sense? All right, it's getting almost time for questions, so you better come up with one. Or I'm going to embarrass you, because I'm just going to... Okay? So get ready. All right, so that leads us to, what is the real punchline? I practice yoga. The hidden secret is that I become fixed on the Supreme Lord. You see? What does that do for me? What do I get out of this? That's natural. It's natural when someone says, I've got this new product. The reaction is, normally, should be, what's in it for me? What do I get? If I give you my money and you give me your product or service, what's my benefit? Features and benefits selling, okay? So what's the benefit? What do I get out of this? In the first verse of the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, a few verses downstream, Supreme Lord says, Sri Bhagavan Vacha Mayashtakta Malaparta Yogam Yunjamat Asrayaha Asamsayam Samabrahma Yatakyasi Tachtridu. Krishna is saying, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, now hear, O son of Pritha, he's talking to Arjuna, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. Know me, God, me, Krishna is saying this. If you practice yoga with your mind attached to me, you get me. You get to know me, and he says, in full. That's not like, partial knowing or kind of an idea. We're talking about knowing in full. You see? Free from doubt. Free from doubt. Your doubts are all removed. All these questions that we ask when we're usually when we were younger. You know, I remember when I went to Sunday school, I had all these questions. It got to the point where the Sunday school teacher would stop calling on me because I would say, I got a question, you know. I asked these questions, she would say, look, there's some things God doesn't want you to know. Just, you know, because she didn't have any answers. You see, and she was a scholar. She, you know, and her husband was the minister. I would ask him, and he would change the subject, and because I wanted to know these things, I had these questions. You see, but Krishna says here that if you practice yoga in full consciousness of Him, with your mind attached to Him, that you get to know Him in full. Pretty blunt statement. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. You get to know Him. So how do we do this? How do we keep our mind attached to Krishna? Well, huh?
Constant practice.
Constant devotion and constant practice by serving Him. You see, when we do something in loving service, if you think of everything that you do as an offering to the Supreme Lord, then you're going to be thinking of Him. Wednesday night in Bhagavad Gita class, we talked about, what was it, 30th verse of the 6th chapter, where Krishna says that the learned yogi sees me in everyone, and everyone in me. He sees me in everything, and everything in me. You see? Now we can all agree with that, can't it? That makes a lot of sense. Doesn't it? To see God in everything. So in other words, I see this beautiful tree. I always think this eucalyptus tree out here is so wonderful. You know, it gives us such nice shade and so attractive to look at. So we can see Krishna in this wonderful tree. We can see God in a beautiful sunset. You know, when we come around a curve on the mountains and we look off into the valley, we can maybe see something. Maybe it's a beautiful sunset over the mountains in the valley, and we think of God. Right? Does that make any sense? Well, what do you think about when you think of God? Some potency? Something that we're not really aware of what it is, but it did this. Look what that thing did, you know. Great beautiful sunset, all that beautiful pinks and great reds in the sunset, the mountains. Look what God did, or whatever something did, you see. So do we really think of God? A husband, when he goes to work, he may see something, like maybe sometimes a wife may give a husband something for his desk at the office, like a pen and pencil set, a fancy pen and pencil set. So sometimes he may look at that pen and pencil set and he'll think of his wife. He's got a picture in his mind of a person, a real live person, with a face and a personality. You see? He identifies with her in love. He doesn't think, that thing at home gave me this faceless thing, gave me this pen and pencil set. He doesn't think that the pen and pencil set just happened to be there. He also thinks of the intent behind this loving person that he loves so dearly. Why did she give me this? So I would take her to Vegas. No, she gave it to me because she loves me. And when I see it, I remember every time I use it to sign some contract or whatever, I'm thinking of her, her beautiful face, her wonderful personality, and my attraction and attachment to her, a person, you see. So we need to work our lives in such a way that we need to see God in everything, not just a thing or some unidentifiable force, you see, but God. the face of God, the personality of God. And we can do that. Krishna says here, you can know me in full. Krishna wants you to know him in full. This is his desire, you see. Because he loves you and he knows you in full. I mean, we all can intellectually agree on that. Does God know us in full? He knows us better than we do. Like, you've experienced probably your mother knows you better than you. A lot of times your wife knows you better than you. Or at least she wants you to believe that. How many times has your wife told you? So you better believe it. It's like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. So you see what you got here? So if your wife and your mother know you better than you do, then surely the Supreme Personality of Godhead knows you better than you do. You see? And he wants you to get to know him. Now the fact is, we already know God. We're already on first name basis with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We already have a supremely loving relationship, an eternal loving relationship with him. It just so happens that we've forgotten it. You see? He hasn't. We are out of place. We're in the material world. We have come here for various reasons. But we've come here, one of the reasons is to get away from him. We've come here, yeah, isn't it? To get away from him. I mean, now through this sojourn that we've been on for billions of years and billions of births, we start to look for him. We start to get very curious about him. But what percentage of the population would you say is really sincere about finding the Supreme Godhead? Actually finding him face to face. I'm talking about so close that you can reach out and touch him. How many people do you think are really driven for that? Very, very small percentage, you see. Better that I find his energy, not look him in the face. But I want the energy to be kind of around the corner. Why? So I can ask him for stuff. Give me this. Give me my daily bread. Let me pass the test that I've got coming up next Wednesday. Let me graduate. Let me get that job that I'm interviewing for. Let me get the raise and the promotion at work. Oh, please, God, please. I remember one time I was watching the news and they were showing, this was back many years ago when Jane Fonda was married to Ted Turner. Yeah. And what's the team that's the baseball team that's in Atlanta? The Braves. They were in the World Series, I think, or in a playoff. Anyway, some important game. And so the camera shows that Jane Fonda was there with Ted Turner. And Jane Fonda's, when the camera's on her, she's like this. She's praying to God that the Braves will win the World Series or win this game. And I'm sure out of 60,000 people or whatever in the stadium, there's somebody else praying, please God, for the other team. What's God supposed to do? Flip a coin? What do you have, a transcendental coin? I'm sorry, but the Braves did. I don't know if the Braves won. I have no idea. It was a long time ago. But, Srila Prabhupada says in World War II, for instance, you have the mothers in America praying that their sons will be victorious and not get hurt, not become harmed, return home, you see. And in Germany, you have the German mothers praying for their sons. Oh God, please don't let my son become harmed. Let him be victorious and come home safe and sound. You see what I mean? Oh God, give me this. Oh God, give me that. Oh God, protect me. Oh God, save me. oh, God, do this, and, okay, that's enough. That's enough, God. Okay, God, the conversation's over because the football game's about to come on. It's Monday night. I forgot. I shouldn't start praying on Monday night because it's Monday night football. They still have Monday night football. You see, so anyway, I gotta. Sorry, God. I'll dial you back in later because I'm trying to find my remote control. It's time to crank on the football game. So. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I'm hoping the Cowboys win tonight. I got $50 on them. Okay, that's enough now. Now football. You see, that's our attitude. We want to turn him on when we want something, and then switch him off when we're finished. Now it's time for me to go about what I want. You see? That's natural. Unless you get some idea of who he is and what he's like. You see? When you get some idea of his personality, you become very, very attracted. After some time of this attraction, you want to do something nice for him. You want, instead of saying, hey, God, give me this, hey, God, give me that, ultimately you're going to come to the situation where you're going to say, my dear Lord, you've given and given and given, you've given me everything. Is there something that I could do for you? Because I'm starting to feel some love for you. When you love somebody, you want to do something for them. You see, even if it's somebody that already has everything. I'm sure Bill Gates' wife, even though he has everything, he's the richest man in the world, I'm sure his wife gets him something for Christmas and for, out of love, she wants to get him an anniversary present, you see. So the fact that somebody has a lot, or we could say somebody who has everything, doesn't mean that we don't want to give them something, you see. So even though God may have everything, we still want to do something for him. You see, I want to feel the love of doing something for you, of pleasing you. You see. And after some time of participating like that, having a relationship like that with the Supreme Lord, we get to know him. When we have a loving exchange, we get to know him. If we continue this, at some point, we'll get to know him in full. Okay, who's got their question? Anybody ready with a question or a comment? There you go. Courage.
Oh my gosh. I was thinking about, of course, there's a lot of people that are religious and they believe in God and so on, and there's different conceptions of course, she discussed about the nature of God. It seems to me like there's a lot of people that are just, they have God as part of their life, but not 100%. And it's a pretty rare soul who's fully, completely devoted to God. I mean, it's like, as even in the Bhagavad Gita, there are many thousands among men when they endeavor for perfection and so on. And so that's a really high bar to kind of just jump to. And what about us kind of like, at least for myself, just a beginner, or maybe I'm not even aware of how to get there because it's not so much talked about.
Yeah, these are things that aren't discussed.
Or maybe also, just sorry, but...
Go ahead.
So what is it like, I guess, or what would it be like for somebody to be completely absorbed in love of God and so on?
Well, we become completely freed, you see. We become completely free from doubts, completely free from worry, because now I've linked up with the Supreme Lord on a personal level. I'm his personal servant. And I'm having absolute faith that he will take care of me, with the understanding, that he's always taken care of me. He's always given me and always looked out for me. The only person that's been a problem with my progress is me. I haven't done things that lead me toward him. But he's the reservoir of pleasure. So I get all pleasure. He's the source of everything. Everything emanates from God. You see? So if I get him, I get everything. But just to turn your attention towards him and say, my dear Lord, I want more of you. I have no idea of what your beautiful face looks like, but I want to see it. And I'm not capable of serving you in any way. I have no qualification. But yet I want to. I want you to give me the knowledge and the potency to offer something nice to you. That puts you on a level far, far above most of the population. Most of the people aren't ready to go there. And that's okay. I'm not condemning them. They have that right. Everyone has free will. I'm not ready. If someone says, I've had people tell me that. I believe everything you say. I hear what you're saying. I'm with you 100%, but I'm not ready to get that close to God. I'd rather he be a little further away. By that, it's easier for me to not really give him a face or a personality. It's better for me if he just remains energy. You see? And that way, I don't have to include him in everything. I'm not ready because, to be honest, I may have some nonsense that I want to do. I want him to do something, something that I feel in my heart may be at least borderline sinful. And I want to do that. I want to perform this kind of nonsense activity. I don't want a personal relationship with God. It's just like, I don't want my mother with me when I go on a date. I go on a date with a girl and I want to make some time with her. I don't want my mother to come with us, you see. So, it's kind of a real commitment. If you say, well, I want to include God in everything, I'm going to give him a personality, you see, a supreme personality. My gosh, now he's with me no matter where I go, what I'm doing. I really have to clean things up. It's like if your mother's coming to visit, you clean your apartment up, or bear the consequences. So, it's like that. And that's okay. If people say, I'm not ready to take that step and get close. Maybe someday, perhaps someday, but not now. Others are going to say, I really never thought of it like this. I've been dragging my feet. I really need to step it up. And I can attain this person, the supreme person. I can actually attain him. And if I can, I want to. I want to go there. You see? Does that answer? Anybody else? Yes, Prabhu.
So a person that's, like you said, not 100% committed, but wants to begin on the path, where do they start? How do they start?
They start, the best place to start is by associating directly with the Lord. And the easy way to do that is to chant his names. The name of God cannot be separated. Hallowed be his name. Cannot be separated from him. When we chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare, we're associating directly with him. Directly. We can start there. I always tell people, start with that and see where it goes. After this, I don't like this. But the proof is in the pudding. It's like, when you go to buy a car, the guy says, hey, take it for a test drive. Some real expert salesman, they'll tell you, if they look like you're a qualified guy, upstanding guy, they'll say, here's the keys, take it home for the weekend. I've never had that happen, but I've heard about it. I've heard about it. People have told me, well, here's the keys, take it home for the weekend. This is Friday, and bring it back Monday morning. If you want it, we'll do the paperwork. If not, no problem. Give it a shot. So we're saying like that. Take the Maha Mantra, this chanting of Hare Krishna, home. Take it home for the weekend. Kick the tires, drive it around the block. Give it a test. Try it on, see if it fits. If it doesn't, you didn't lose anything. If it works, hang on to it and increase it. If you like the taste, go for it. Go for more, you see. Because this prayer, this Maha Mantra, first of all, it's the original love song. It's the greatest love song of all times. In love, we're asking, my dear Lord, please give me your loving devotional service. Please allow me to serve you with love. It's the original, it's a transcendental love song, you see. It's not like a love song we've ever heard. It's a love song to the Supreme Lord. Please allow me to serve you with love, my dear Lord. You see. And when he hears that, he thinks, oh, this is so sweet. This is so nice. And I will give you, I will allow you to serve me in some way. And therefore, we get to taste the sweet nectar of serving him in love, pleasing him. When we please him, we feel greatly pleased. When he sees you pleased, he becomes more pleased. When you see him more pleased, you become more pleased. And this goes on for eternity. By seeing the delight that the devotee feels from pleasing him, he becomes even more pleased, which causes you to become more pleased. And this is never ending. This is Krishna consciousness. So, thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.